Hey folks, back with more ancient cosmology with your host Rowan Campbell Millar. There's a bunch of crap on the screen, maybe. I don't know. Let's see, this is another new comparison of Gobekli Tepe Pillar 43. I keep doing new comparisons to try to have it most visible and most recognizable. You know, I found that if I have the stela in the middle, then it can be, they can be relatively close to what they're being compared to. So that's good. So yeah, Gobekli Tepe, 12,000-year-old map of America and Turkey. Oh yeah, apparently Google changed the name of, or Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So I just corrected it. I put Mexico, North America. But it is interesting because, you know, it does show for the sheep that, you know, don't want to believe it, that the internet is the government. Like Google is the government, period. Yeah. That's how that works. Google Maps would not have changed just to do a favor to the government. No, Google is the government. Google is the CIA, the Pentagon, etc. But so yeah, I'm not sure what this theater is about. I mean, obviously the whole hemisphere is America, the whole landmass is America. Estados Unidos, the United States, is just the newcomer to America. All right, so this headless dude down here, you know, his body is Baru Peninsula. Like his head is cut off by this scorpion, presumably, which is, you know, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. But so this is Baru, but this might be an iteration of the denuded head, like the disembodied head, because this is, I think it's like right up here, you know, it's not far from it. It's like the closest island basically to this. And at least from here to there, it's kind of shaped like a neck and a face. Although you could argue that the top is gone from it. And there is another island near it that could even be like the top of the head. Hard to know. But this is at least a decent possibility that this is meant to have been an iteration of the disembodied head. And this is like, it's called Isla Baru, like, because it technically is an island, but it's like a man-made island because of these canals. There's a canal that goes, that shoots out of his dick. There's a canal here. These are all man-made canals that are, I would guess, older than Gobekli Tepe. I mean, the Spaniards, the conquistadors, claimed that they made all these canals as soon as they arrived. But I think it's more likely they just dredged earlier canals that were either already there, you know, either still evident or were known about from ancient maps and texts. So yeah, this whole canal, this was probably, my guess is this was carved during the Ice Age. All these canals. But who knows? Definitely canals were being, you know, we know the Mayans were making canals 4,000 years ago. Plato said the Atlanteans were making massive canals, like, you know, about the time of Gobekli Tepe. Um, so this is Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, which is the head of this Gobekli Tepe feline god. So it has like this pointy nose. I think it even has this little island off the tip. That's probably like that dot right there. And then, the mouth, I think, is the bay, Nicoya Gulf or Bay or whatever. I think it's called Nicoya, Golfo de Nicoya or whatever. So the major tooth here probably relates to, might be all of this, like all this stuff where it's closest to the, the other side. Yeah. And the eye might be like something around here. It seems like it has a tear coming down. So it could be like this is the eye and then this thing is the tear. Not sure what those are. It could be waterways. So yeah, it's very distinctive for kind of the pointy nose and the really flat muzzle or whatever you want to call that. And somewhat for the round forehead. This is Baru's dick and balls. So, it's a little crooked, but what can you do? Some people have weird dicks. This is another possible iteration of the head, which is Isla Juventud, which is off of the Cuban coast. It's like a Cuban island. Cuban islet. So it kind of looks like a face, kind of looks like George Washington. So anyway, that could be also the head, because it seems that the Scorpion Reef in the Gulf of Mexico is both an iteration of this person's head, this guy's head, and and the sun, and an egg and other stuff. So this could also be, there are probably other iterations between Baru and Scorpion Reef, between Baru and the Gulf of Mexico. This is the snake behind the feline. Cabo Santa Elena, Cape Saint Elena. So yeah, it has its mouth open, and it's basically, I think it's an Ouroboros, because it's like eating its tail there. Might be the original Ouroboros for Lake Nicaragua. And then these islands, or maybe I guess they're connected, but they could be shown as some of these shapes in here somehow, but hasn't been excavated far enough to see what else is on the stone. And then, of course, the front paws are Osa and Barica. But it's cute how they do it, like, it's funny, because they show, like, the upper paw, Osa, is, like, partially in front of the one below it. So the one below it is, like, partially obscured, but then it kind of pokes out at the end there. So that's just a way to cheekily or creatively signify that this one is kind of like weirdly shaped, that basically this is like the shape they're showing, but it's not exactly in the way they're showing, because this is not right here. If you pretend that this water part is actually this, then it would be realist, but as it is, it's just a creative way to show the different shapes of the two peninsulas. I don't know, I see it as kind of humorous, but I'm not sure if it was meant primarily, or if it was I mean, I think a lot of this stuff was seen as humorous by the ancients. They tried to make it funny. Well, I'll just go through some of these, I guess. This is 175,000-year-old version of Gobekli Tepe. This is kind of the oldest one we know, but it seems to be the same tradition. Built by Neanderthals in southern France, I believe. Then here's Gobekli Tepe, 12,000 years old. So these were all maps, all like temples are basically maps of the earth and the cosmos. Even a lot of churches probably are because they're based on earlier traditions, even if the builders don't understand what those traditions are. Hence why Freemasonry was such a thing, or is such a thing, because it was the Masons who built all these. Stonemasons were carriers of knowledge, and they taught knowledge through their buildings. This is, of course, the ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways of General Seppi, map of America, showing like the Alaskan Peninsula, Baja California as like coastal gatekeepers.